Here we go. Spoiler alert, audience. Hi, everybody. Woo! Look at your makeup today. I love it. Right back at you. Hi, everybody. There's Thursday right there. There's Thursday. Welcome to the show. Hello. Hello. Pretty people. Welcome to Thursday. Hello, Chanhassen. Hello, Elk River. Hello, Plymouth, Wayzata, Eden Prairie, Chanhassen, and Egan. Good morning. Welcome to the show. Have a seat. Here we go. Welcome to the show. Please say hello to my good friend. Give some love to Kendall, everybody. Hi, Kendall. How you doing?
Good morning.
How you doing?
Hello.
How's your day?
I'm great. I keep thinking it's Friday, though.
No, one more alarm clock.
No, I didn't. I asked you yesterday, right? I was like, is it Thursday?
Yeah, in a commercial break, Kendall's like, is it Thursday? I go, no, it's only Wednesday, but yeah.
Darn.
I said this in our little pre-show thing. You look real lovely today. You look real pretty today. Yes.
Thanks, Jay.
Do a little makeup get up or something. You look. I don't know the technical term of it.
I like makeup get up. I think that's a good way to put it. Yes.
You look
yes.
lovely. You look
I think it's because I got 8 hours of sleep.
Oh, really?
Oh, it was so great.
You got a full night's sleep? That'll do it.
I conked out at 7:30 p.m. and it was fantastic.
Isn't that nice? Mm-hmm. Isn't it nice? I mean, you don't even feel guilty. You're like, it's 7:30. I'm gonna go to bed.
I showered and I was like, okay, good night.
Yeah.
Jordan's like, okay, good night.
Sure. Yeah, you wake up early. It's all right.
It's fine.
Another person that looks beautiful. I had a delightful morning. Usually when I do my radio show, I have a radio show on My Talk 107.1, and I'm usually here doing it. People don't always know that. I'm in this building. I'm here at Fox, and my co-host Alexis and producer Dawn and Kenny, they're in St. Paul, so we never really see each other. Today was a special day, so I actually was in studio for the show. It was a special day because my co-host Alexis is back from maternity leave, and there we are. So there's Alexis. There's Alexis and little Zen. There's Angel and Alexis and their beautiful, beautiful baby boy, Zendai. And just call him Zen. And that's the first photo that she's... Oh, look at that.
Oh, my goodness,
look at that.
The panda outfit.
Look at that little baby. Such a beautiful baby, and like a great combination of both Lex and Angel. And it was so good to see her, and she's so excited. And for those who listen to the show, or has been here when Lex has been here, Lex and Angel have waited many, many years to have a baby. And now they just, it's so perfect. I think he's 8 pounds now. He was a 2-month preemie.
Mm-hmm.
Alexis's due date was supposed to be 2 weeks ago. That'll give you, and I believe she had him November 12th, I want to say. So, I mean, she said that today, and I went, wow, you were just supposed to be starting your maternity leave, and she came back on the air today, and it was so fun, and classic Alexis, within 8 minutes, she's talking about breastfeeding, and I thought, that's wonderful,
It's great. And that baby has the cutest milk belly in that panda costume. Oh my gosh, he's so cute.
I gotta tell you, as a dude, I never ever want to hear about breastfeeding again after that little segment. I was frightened. I didn't know, and it's Alexis is describing it as only Alexis can.
Yes.
And I'm either crying or laughing at the same time. It was just, I just thought, no, I'm good. I'm good. I'm good. I'm glad that. Yeah, I don't need to hear that again. But congratulations to Lex and Angel and little Zen. Just a beautiful. So good to have her back. She told the whole story that we got instant stash of email because a lot of mothers related to having preemies. And if you want to listen to her, it was fascinating. Because she thought she was rolling into the doctor just for a checkup, and 2 days later, the baby was ready. So you can hear that whole thing on the podcast. Just go to mytalk1071.com and listen to the first hour. So thanks,
baby
Lex.
out.
I love you. Welcome back. Let's get started, everybody. It's time for the hot dish. Here we go. A lot of effort there. A lot of effort. First up, the latest episode of The Masked Singer aired last night. And before we show you who was sent home, here's a clip of some of the standout performances. Look at this.
Then you asked me to stay over. I said I already told you. I think that you should get some rest. Oh, I knew I loved you then, but you'd never know. 'Cause I played it cool when I was scared of letting go. I told you I was trouble, and you know I'm no good.
Wow.
It's not unusual to be loved by anyone. It's not unusual to have fun with anyone.
It's not unusual, but that is inherently unusual. I always love saying this, ladies and gentlemen, that's the turtle, the kangaroo, and the llama. Just thank you, audience. Thank you. This show is just a masterpiece. Now you have last season I came out of the gate with some guesses.
Yep.
I'm clueless this year. Or this season. You have a guess right off the bat.
Yep, the turtle is Jesse McCartney.
Pop star Jesse McCartney from the early 2000s.
Yeah, I was gonna say, a lot of people might be like, who are you talking about?
Yeah.
But if you're around my age, so late 20s to mid 30s, probably you remember him. He was in the band Dream Street.
Yeah.
You guys are looking at each other like, what's happening?
I don't remember Dream Street, but I just remember him.
Yeah, they were like teeny bopper Backstreet Boys in 2000, and then he went off and did all of his solo stuff, and he kind of just disappeared.
Yeah. What was that one song? He had one huge
I
hit.
want you in your beautiful soul.
Beautiful Soul, that's right. Yeah, that was, wow.
Those years of voice lessons really paid off,
Wow.
Mom and Dad.
Beautiful. That was some good Jesse McCartney.
you.
Is this
Thank
what
you.
happens when you get a lot of sleep? I just want to know. I just say
Yes,
okay.
it's a little cuckoo.
In the end, it was the llama that was sent home. Guesses ranged, I know. Guesses ranged from Adam Carolla to Kelsey Grammer to Johnny Knoxville, but they were wrong. It was Drew Carey. Price is Right host Drew Carey. Okay. Can we just, the judges act like Taylor Swift winning an award? You know, it's like, can you stop the massive amounts of shock? I mean, Jenny McCarthy, it's like her mouth becomes 4 times bigger. We know there's going to be a reveal. I don't know.
It's very exciting.
Very dramatic. It's all, look at Jenny. Okay, you've seen him. It's Drew Carey. I didn't know Drew could sing. That's cool.
It made more sense that she was making that face back when she was like, I peed my pants.
Yeah.
But like,
back in those days. I don't know. Hey, you know what? Give it to Jenny McCarthy. She's one of those that has like longevity. She has just singled out to The View. Ooh.
I forgot about that.
She was on The View for that disaster. She was on Barbara Walters' last season. Ooh, it was rough. It was like watching a crash every day. Yeah. Well, next in the dish, Gayle King is not a happy camper this morning. No. She's calling out her own network for only posting a tiny clip of this interview with former NBA legend Lisa Leslie, in which Gayle asked Lisa about the 2003 rape allegations against the late Kobe Bryant. Now, that clip igniting quite the social media reaction, mostly negative. And I read a lot of them, and they were really taking Gayle to task for bringing that subject up with the WNBA legend. Well, most of the 6-minute interview is actually about Lisa's friendship with Kobe over the years. Gayle took to Instagram this morning, or I think she posted it late last night. Just look at her face. You can tell she is not happy with some people and with CBS. Look at this.
I talked to Lisa last night. I believe that Lisa was okay with the interview. And I felt really good about the interview. Really good about the interview. So for the network to take the most salacious part when taken out of context and put it up online for people who didn't see the whole interview is very upsetting to me, and that's something I'm going to have to deal with them.
Right about now. Literally, it's 11 o'clock in New York. They are having right now, she's in there with the head of CBS going, why did you do that?
I just want to drink the tea and listen to that one.
Yeah, this is really almost, we kind of debated whether we were going to do the story because it's very nuanced, and I have a lot of feels and I have a lot of thoughts on it. And we don't usually get this heavy in the show. But I thought this was important because I'm going to defend Gayle a little bit and then bring up some of the criticisms, and one that I think you shared. The first one is people were like, okay, Gayle, we get that CBS on social media didn't share the whole interview, but people still had a problem with Gayle bringing up the allegations against Kobe in general. And people can debate that. I've seen a reasonable debate. Should you even bring it up? Now, I had said on this broadcast when we talked about Kobe the day after he and his daughter were killed, I didn't think it was appropriate the day after or within 24 hours. But you do have to ask the question, when is it appropriate? Like, is there a time frame, or is it ever appropriate? That's what you had said in our meeting. Should the media ever bring it up in context of Kobe Bryant?
Right. I think that it just depends on the exact interview. It sounds like this one was all about celebrating his life, talking to Lisa about their friendship with Lisa Leslie and Kobe Bryant. I don't think it's necessary to even bring it up then. I think if you're talking about his legacy, a full 30-minute bit with all kinds of interviews, all the highs and lows, of course you bring that up. I just didn't think in that situation you bring it up.
Because there is, and again, I'm playing devil's advocate. Don't email me. I'm just saying this is what I've seen on social media. There is an argument to be made if you are discussing Kobe Bryant's whole life. This is an aspect of his life. This is what happened. The counter argument is this was in 2003. The case was settled out of court. It should be done, and it shouldn't be done out of respect for the family. I can see both sides. I just don't think Gayle has a job to do. She is a journalist. And sometimes, I'm not saying it's everybody, sometimes people like to take journalists to task for asking a difficult question. Just because a question is difficult doesn't necessarily mean it's out of bounds or unnecessary. We sometimes have, it's real popular now to hit on the media. I'm just saying, just because a question's uncomfortable to you doesn't necessarily mean it's out of bounds.
Absolutely.
That's all I'm going to say. I'm just playing devil's advocate. I'm just, lots more to come, everybody. We'll be back right after this. Stay with us. Still to come on the Jason Show, reunited, and it feels so good. New pictures of the Saved by the Bell cast back together for the reboot. Our buddy Dax Holt has the lowdown. Plus, Taylor Tells All. I got a chance to watch the new Taylor Swift documentary on Netflix, and I have a lot to say about Miss Americana. And bringing orchestra music to the masses. Minnesota Orchestra conductor Sarah Hicks joins us in studio to talk about reaching out to new audiences and working with Disney, pop stars, and more. We're singing a happy tune because it's Thursday. The Jason Show will be right back.
Final one is from Mask.
Ooh, somebody stop me!
Everybody loves that line. It's immortal. Everyone quotes that line from frat bros in a bar to frat bros to the other end of the bar. Everyone. Sure. But we all know it, okay? But Jim Carrey, as a dramatic actor, do you believe it?
Unfortunately, no. I knew there were deeper levels to the story I wasn't reaching, and I think about it every day.
Okay.
Every day it haunts me.
Let me remind you of your backstory. Okay. You are possessed by an ancient mask. It may hide your face, but it cannot mask your inner pain. You're crying out for someone, anyone, to help and go.
Somebody! Stop me!
That's it. Much better. Much better. Or more frightening. Welcome back, Jim Carrey, giving one of his iconic movie lines a more dramatic interpretation. More dish for you now. It's been a few weeks since we learned Real Housewife of New Jersey Teresa split from her husband after years of legal issues, prison stays, and immigration problems.
Just a few.
What else? Last night, Teresa was on Watch What Happens Live and spoke out about her marriage and the way her ex treated her on the show. Look.
Listen, he did treat me good because otherwise I wouldn't have stayed married to him all those years.
Right.
And I have to say, the nastiest he ever was on the show.
Really?
Yeah, I don't know. I think he had like this whole macho attitude when he was being filmed, which I hated.
Well, you know, you're performing for the camera. Teresa says she has moved on and was happy to see her ex partying with other women in Italy. Happy. I'm happy. I'm happy. I mean, I guess if you're over it.
Yeah.
If you're the one that's over it.
I think, so I watched New Jersey a lot when it first started.
Me too.
And I was always so intrigued by that relationship because she was such a like go-getter with her kids, defending her family, flipping tables. But with him, she'd be like, okay.
Very demure.
Very
yes.
interesting.
Yeah.
You know, you could see that playing out a long time ago.
Yeah, it was a very old school kind of a 1950s housewife dynamic.
Yeah.
It was very Donna Reed, and then she's a strong woman, so maybe she's happy. Maybe she really is happy.
I bet she is.
I mean,
like, yeah, go on.
Yeah, and if it was, no, but I'm saying, maybe if she's wanting to be rid of him anyway and done and have cut emotional and physical ties, she's thinking, okay, I've had closure. Oh, okay, look, he's out there with another one. I don't care. Go do your thing.
Right, and I think she answered as well as she could because she is very defensive, like I said, of her 4 girls. And I think she wanted to say something without disparaging their father.
Yeah,
you know?
that's nice because when you talk about the other parent, you're actually shaming the child. I learned that once, and anyway, not that I've been divorced and not that I have children. I'm just saying I learned that probably from Oprah. Next in the dish, all my good life lessons came from the Oprah Winfrey Show. Never. We were joking with a friend, like, this isn't a funny one, but I always remember this. We were joking with someone, a friend who'd gotten into an Uber, and she was like, oh, this is, and we said, like, never let them take you to the second scene. You know what I mean? And I learned that from a crime expert. If you're never let them take you to the second location. So the audience is lost. Like, if someone grabs you and puts you in an unmarked van.
Oh, yeah, you got to fight first.
You got to fight. Because Oprah said, never let them take you to the second location.
No.
So it's a grim life lesson, but a good life lesson regardless.
But a life lesson.
Never let them take you to the second location. Jeff, you remember that one too? I do, yeah. Next in the dish, Vanessa and Nick Lachey visited the Today Show this week. The audience is like, why did we come here? Anyway, they were on to talk about their new Netflix show, Love is Blind. But Hoda asked them about Nick's ex, Jessica Simpson. This is when things got real awkward. Look.
You know.
Well, I interviewed Jessica Simpson for her book, Open Book, and she talked about how she has her life with her husband and her children, and she was really, really happy for y'all. She kept saying, like, they sent me something beautiful when I got, when we had our children, et cetera, et cetera.
Certainly happy, for her and her life. I know she is happy for us.
She really
and there's, there's definitely a mutual, respect there. So that's, obviously it was a long time ago, and we've all moved on.
I feel bad. I'm sorry. You said somebody sent her. Because now it's like, it wasn't us, but thank you for sending it from us.
Yeah, so she got something nice from you guys after, I don't remember, after some moment in her life, and she thought it was sweet, and, So anyway, so she sort of was like saying kind of thanks to you guys.
What'd you send her?
I didn't.
No, you can't remember?
No, I didn't. I don't know her address.
That was real awkward. That was real. BC Hoda was like, why did I ask this question? She was like, well, she was just trying to be nice. And
moving on.
Now, look, Vanessa, did you have to jump in there? You made it. You could have just you made it 75,000 times more embarrassing for you and more uncomfortable, I should say. It's not embarrassing, but more uncomfortable for everybody involved.
Yeah, you literally should be biting your tongue. Like, if you got to say something, just go like this.
Yeah, exactly. Because
no point.
Because fans thought Vanessa was throwing shade, but she went on social media to clarify, saying she wasn't throwing shade. She just doesn't know who sent Jessica something on her behalf. What? Still, you don't have to say that.
No, and the fact that it was over, like he had answered the question and they were about to move on, and she just leaned in and was like, I'm sorry, what did she say?
No.
And then when Hoda was answering, she goes, I
don't know. I'm going to be very nice. I'm in a great mood today. I could say other things about Vanessa, but I'm not going to.
Just drink it to you, girl.
Very nice.
Don't spill it.
I love
just
Nick.
Drink it.
Nick was very nice when 98
nice.
Degrees was here. All of those guys are incredibly kind.
Very
They're very good guys. The hot dish continues with our Insider to the Stars audience. Give it up for Dax Holt from Hollywood Pipeline, everybody. Hi, Dax.
Hello, good morning. Oh my God, I love that story. I'm having so much fun with this Jessica Simpson, Nick Lachey stuff. This is amazing.
Well, and speaking of that, you have some new photos of Jessica.
Yeah, she looks unbelievable. So like it was said, she is out promoting her new book, open book. It's her new memoir, I'm sorry, in New York. She looks unbelievable. She was out walking around. She, you know, obviously when you're doing like a book tour and stuff, you've got your stylist on full mode, and she is switching outfits, but she stepped out in this like red snakeskin pattern dress, and keep in mind she lost, I think she said 100 pounds after her last child, and so she was showing off that body, but looking great. And I gotta say, this book sounds like it might be pretty interesting because she's been dishing about a lot of her exes, not just Nick Lachey, but I guess there's a big section about John Mayer too, and how she felt like that relationship was very unhealthy for her. I never thought I'd be saying it, but I think I'm gonna have to read this book.
Well, yeah, because there was another section I heard about today, which involves her father. And I guess as she was giving birth, like getting ready to give birth to her first child, her father walks in at that moment and says, "Oh, by the way, I'm leaving your mother."
Oh, like that's nice timing.
Yeah. Oh, like, what are you doing? Anyway, there's issues with him too. Anyway, moving on. Production on Saved by the Bell, the reboot's underway. How's it going?
Everyone excited for this one?
Yeah, kinda.
Yeah. All right. Yeah, so production's underway. We got Mario Lopez and Elizabeth Berkley out filming here in LA. You know, they're back on the scene. I mean, what was it? Almost 30 years ago when that show premiered, which is pretty unbelievable. And so they're back in. It sounds like Mark Paul Gosselaar is also back in. There is some rumors that Tiffany Amber Thiessen will also be on the show. But, you know, people love these reboots. I mean, they keep coming back. Whether or not they stay is another question. But, you know, Mario Lopez literally looks the same as he did back then. So that's kind of funny. But
does he own a shirt with sleeves?
Don't act like you want him to have sleeves.
Well, I mean, I don't care. I'm representing. That's fine. Yeah, it's fine. Yeah.
But anyway, I'm always curious to see how they do this, because that is kind of the determination whether or not it's going to be a good show or not. Whether you just reboot it, pick up where you left off, or you kind of do what 90210 did, where you switch up the storyline and make it something interesting, but involves all the same characters.
Finally, Katy Perry was in London this week, looking quite stylish.
She looks beautiful. Yes, she was out there for a big event with the Prince, and so she was there. And keep in mind, this outfit that she's wearing, I don't know if you're showing it right now, but she has like this blue dress, which is like a $2,200 dress, okay? And then she comes walking out with this pink, like, satin coat, which is also $2,600. I'm like, oh my God, a coat is $2,600, but I guess when you're Katy Perry, you can afford it. But the funny thing is, so she is there and at the event, and she was talking all about the Prince, and she was saying that, you know, he is such a kind-hearted soul. She thinks he's so kind, and that he even talks to his plants, and he has requested that she sings to his plants.
Oh, okay.
And she said yes.
Oh.
Does that not seem a little weird at all? Like, Prince Charles wants you to sing to his plants?
I hope we're going to see that on The Crown soon. That would be fantastic. Yeah.
I love it. Future King of England wants you to sing to his plants. I think everyone's going to say yes to that.
Absolutely. Dax, thank you, my friend. Have a good week. Dax Holt from Hollywood Pipeline. Follow Dax on social media. Search for Dax Holt and Hollywood Pipeline. What do you think of that satin thing?
She looked like, what's her name? Miss Under blah, blah, blah from Harry Potter. You know, the big pink coat thing?
Oh, yes.
Umbridge, Miss Umbridge.
I thought that thing looked like the bottom of my prom date's dress in '91. You know what I mean?
Oh, yeah,
we
like
had big
duvet,
poofy. It was a
like
big poofy. Michelle, my prom date Michelle had a big poofy bottom dress. That's what that looked like from '91.
Yes, when he said she looked beautiful and we pulled that up, I was like,
yeah. Still ahead, the two-night Bachelor event continue as Peter tries to figure out what ladies are there for the right reasons. Hey, none of them actually. Producer Ted will recap last night's episode, and then the first female conductor at the Minnesota Orchestra will join us to talk about how she's making classic music cool again. That and more when we come back. Back after this, everybody. Stay with us.
I fight to the death of what I deserve. And what I deserve is a chance to see if this relationship works. And no little girl with blonde hair from Canada is going to stop me. I'm not going home tonight. No. I heard what you said to me earlier. I am just really disappointed in you, McKenna. I told Peter the truth. And just be prepared to answer questions. Yeah, I'm ready. McKenna's on borrowed time. She's been here way too long. And Peter needs to see that. I'm wearing black today because it's her funeral. See you later.
Ooh. Girl. Welcome back. A special Wednesday night edition of The Bachelor, featuring an impromptu 2-on-1 date as Peter attempted to weed out the drama. The women and Peter headed to Lachey, where the field was narrowed to 6 by the end of the night. It capped 5 hours of The Bachelor this week. And that means, once again, it's time for America Loves Ted. Joining us from Bachelor headquarters / our control room in Eden Prairie, it's time for Ted Johnson. Good morning, Ted.
Good morning.
Okay, so that was the clip. If people don't watch that show, it is Tammy and McKenna we just saw. What's the origin of their beef? I mean, we obviously picked up in the middle of a fight. What's going on?
I think this is just Tammy trying to get on TV. We had her last week, or actually Monday. Remember, she was the one who was saying that Kelsey was an alcoholic and popping pills.
Oh, that's okay. Got it.
We haven't heard from her at all this season. So we've got her making that accusation on Monday. Last night, she starts this fight with McKenna. McKenna's the youngest one there. I think she actually probably had feelings for Peter. But man, Tammy was ruthless. So they had this impromptu 2-on-1 right before the cocktail party. And he basically figures out, okay, Tammy, I think you're basically full of it.
Yeah.
Kicks her. She's gone. They do the rose ceremony, and then he gets rid of McKenna. So it was like, why did you just get rid of both of them right there?
At the same time, yeah.
Yeah.
So then they did a full group date, and they did a telenovela.
Yeah, so very romantic, these soap operas. And, I thought it was fitting because, let's face it, all of these, everyone on the show, him included, they just want to be, Instagram influencers. They want to be on a soap opera. Well, here's their chance, and they're terrible actors.
None of them were good?
None of them. Awful.
Oh, was it even entertaining to watch?
It was steamy. It was very steamy.
I'm telling you, he is a horn dog. He really is. There is more kissing and hugging and sitting on laps.
And a confused one at that.
Yeah.
Just can't figure out how he's feeling.
And again, I can't stop looking at the face Band-Aid. But anyway, let's move on. Drama with the Victorias, because there's not just one, there are two. What's going on? Yeah.
So we've got Victoria P.
Okay, Victoria P.
She's the blonde one, Miss Louisiana. Really good looking. I was like, she's got this. She's going to go far. And she's like, I'm all in. And he goes, not feeling it. And he sends her home.
Oh, wow. That's her right there, Ted? That
is her. And I mean, I am screaming at my TV, what are you doing?
Yeah. He does. But look at him, Ted. You can look at him right now. He looks bored. He looks bored with her. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, and she was kind of laying it all out there, and he's like,
Yeah, she can do better than face Band-Aid. Let's get to Victoria F now.
Now, Victoria F, remember, she's the one who was going to be on the Cosmopolitan cover.
Yes.
Right.
Got booted.
Well, she is a front runner. And he basically does what Victoria P did to him, and she did what he did to Victoria P to her. So he's laying it all on the line for her, and she's basically saying, I'm not really sure what I'm thinking about you. And he's like, no, you should fight for us. And she's like, I don't know. And he's like, will you accept this rose? And she's like, of course.
Oh, what?
Yeah, so this red flags, he's probably going to choose her in the end. She's going to dump him a couple months later.
That's right. Are any of these people serious? Are they just all here to get followers on Instagram?
McKenna was serious.
Yeah, okay.
22-year-old
Okay,
McKenna.
yeah. Okay, finally, who got booted, Ted?
So you remember Monday, he went on a date with Sydney, right? And he said that she was the best kisser in the house, right?
Okay, I remember her.
Gone. Booted her after a week. So now he has kicked out the best kisser in the house. So whoever he chooses is going to be like, well, I'm not the best kisser in the house. Smart, real smart.
Are we sure he's not on my team? I mean, I'm just saying. I mean, I don't even play for your baseball team, and I can look at these. They're beautiful. What's he doing?
He's getting rid of the wrong ones. That's all I'll say.
That's right.
I'm
with
hard.
you. Producer Ted, thanks, buddy. The Bachelor over there on ABC. I'm going to check with headquarters right after the show. I'm just saying, yeah. Still ahead, everybody. We're talking about Taylor Swift's new documentary, Miss Americana. What did I think? And believe me, I have thoughts when we return. Stay with us, everybody. Back after this. Going to check with headquarters. Welcome back. It's the lyric video for the song Only the Young by Taylor Swift, featured in her new documentary, Miss Americana. Well, welcome back, everybody. After premiering at the Sundance Film Festival last month, Miss Americana hit Netflix last week, becoming an instant hit. If you haven't seen it, there's a little bit of the trailer.
Throughout my whole career, label executives would just say, a nice girl doesn't force their opinions on people. A nice girl smiles and waves and says thank you. I became the person everyone wanted me to be.
I think that Taylor Swift, she is annoying.
All of her model friends. She's going through guys like a train. She's too skinny.
Nobody physically saw me for a year. And that was what I thought they wanted. I had to deconstruct an entire belief system.
Miss Americana follows everything from the making of her new album, her battle with an eating disorder and sexual assault trial, to her decision to go public with her political views. If you watch the show over the years, you know I've gone up and down on Taylor. Admittedly, like 3 or 4 years ago, she was driving me crazy. But recently, especially with the new album, I became a fan and really enjoyed her, especially because of her songwriting ability. I respect, it's not a gift that I have. I love writers as far as authors, and I have an immense amount of respect for songwriters. And one of the things I took away from this is, wow, that young lady has a gift. The fact that the melody and the lyrics flow from her with such ease is equal parts fascinating and awe-inspiring to watch, because she writes these songs and just sitting there with her songwriting partner, it's great to watch. I also walked away from this a bigger fan because of her integrity. Here's the deal, you know, I say this too a lot. We're living in a time where you can't just sort of dislike something or someone. You have to annihilate the other person. That's what we're living in right now. You just can't, oh, I don't like this person. If you don't like something on social media, you got to take it down. It's in that environment that Taylor made, whether you agree with it or not, I think a really courageous decision for someone of her age and her stature, as far as her popularity, to show her political views. A lot of people in her position wouldn't do that for fear of alienating her audience, but she had strong convictions and she did it. And there's a really great moment in the documentary where she's forming the Instagram post to go public with her political views. And you can see kind of with her publicist, you can see the hesitation and the fear because she knows everything is going to change after this. And it was just a real moment. And then also with the trial that she goes through, and then her Kanye West episode in, what was it, Jeff, 2008, 2009, at the MTV VMAs, where Kanye West, we all remember it, went up on stage and basically said Beyonce should have got the award that Taylor, rewatching that, it was even more uncomfortable than I remember it being way back 10 years ago. And finally, very relatable, and I think it's going to be so good for young people who look at Instagram, who look at videos and see all of these quote-unquote perfect bodies and try to find that attainable. Taylor was talking about her own struggles. You would think that someone like Taylor Swift wouldn't have body issues, but she does. And she shows the world. She looks at photos of herself and she goes, see this photo? See my belly right here? That would ruin me for a week and I would stop eating. So relatable. We've all had that moment. We don't need to be Taylor Swift to know. We've seen photos of ourselves at weddings or at events and we think, oh wow, I don't look good. And it freaks you out. It just made her far more relatable to me, and whether you're a fan or you're not a fan, you should watch this. I came out with a lot more respect for Taylor Swift. Miss Americana is available right now on Netflix. Still ahead, everybody. We're chatting with conductor Sarah Hicks from the Minnesota Orchestra, another great woman, when we come back. Back after this, everybody. Stay with us. Woo! Welcome back, everybody. I'm excited about this. You know, one of the great joys of the show for me, I love spotlighting just fantastic women, and this is another one. A trip to the orchestra used to be a little stuffy, not anymore. Our next guest has made an evening at Orchestra Hall the thing to do in the Twin Cities. Ladies and gentlemen, give it up for the principal conductor of Live at Orchestra Hall, Sarah Hicks, everybody. Hi, Sarah. Welcome to the show.
Thanks for having me.
Explain to me, I love the title, Principal Conductor of Live. What exactly
Live
is
at
that?
Orchestra Hall. I know it's a very long title.
Very long. I don't know if it can fit
very
on your business card,
Yeah,
Sarah.
barely.
Yes.
Basically, it's most of the non-classical, non-educational programming. So it runs the gamut from films to artists to everything. Sometimes we produce shows as well. So it's all those products, really.
Do you have a role in the programming of it? Do you have a say?
Oh, definitely, definitely. The movies sometimes come as packages, but who we have as artists or what kind of shows we create. We had a musical feast last summer where we had chefs on the show. Yeah,
love that. Yeah,
with live music. So those I'm definitely involved in. So
I got to tell you, you mentioned movies, and maybe some of you have seen I see it on my Facebook feed all the time, invites to this trend of live orchestras playing alongside a movie. I remember the first one, I think it was John Williams doing E.T., the anniversary of E.T., I think in the early 2000s.
Yes.
Is that one of the first? And how did this, and has this trend changed the trajectory of attendance at orchestras?
Sure, it's become popular everywhere. It started in Europe, actually.
Oh, did it?
It's really, really popular. So most orchestras do them now. It started maybe becoming popular in the early teens, 2010, 11.
Yeah.
I was an early adopter because I like doing it. It's a great process. So I would say that 60% of my work outside of the Minnesota Orchestra is film work.
Okay, good. I got to add, because I'm fascinated. We have so much to talk about, but this process fascinates me. How difficult is it? Because if you guys have never been to one, so the actual movie, let's take, I saw Jaws with this. So the movie is projected on the screen, the audience is there. In a Reader's Digest version, how does the process work? Like, how do you know the timing and all of that?
I have my own screen, which has all this information. It has streamers and punches to keep me aligned. It has a measure count, the beat of the measure. I have a digital clock, the number of the cue.
I have a headache already, Sarah.
Yeah, and that's all in my music. So I tell people it's like playing a demented video game because you're lining all this up to sound, to people, and making it all live and beautiful and human as well.
Is it something you have to really, as the conductor, practice for a while? Because there's so many things you have to keep in line perfectly. Like the movie's going to run whether you are right or not.
Exactly. Well, you have to learn the music, and then you have to learn the music in context to the movie. So it's a dual process. So it's way more complicated than just learning music for a standard concert.
Do the artists generally enjoy this? I mean, because they're working on classic, like the John Williams, every score of his.
That's great.
Do the artists enjoy doing it?
Do the musicians
The
enjoy?
musicians, yeah.
Yeah, especially if they love the movies. We've been doing the Star Wars series, and people just go gaga over that. So that's been fun for people to say, oh, I remember this when it came out in the theaters.
This weekend, one of the reasons you're here, other than just because we admire you, Music and the Mind, what is it?
It's sort of a program that is... Oh, there I am.
There you
Sorry,
are.
I was distracted by myself. Hello, me.
Hello, Sarah,
Hi.
on the TV.
Right. It's music that we're talking about composers who have mental conditions or how the mind and the music are connected. So, for instance, Beethoven composed music when he was profoundly deaf. Schoenberg, this composer, had triskaidekaphobia. He hated the number 13, so he never had music that added up to 13. There are composers with OCD. There's composers, and also how our minds take in music, how we can understand rhythm, because humans are the only animals that can, and how we sort of create and process and react to music. And then we'll play music that sort of exemplifies that. So I think it should be really informative and also immensely fun and just beautiful music.
You were recently involved in the live Little Mermaid for
Yes.
ABC. You did, I want to get this right. You did the underscore. For a dumb guy like me,
Yeah.
what is underscore?
So all the orchestral music that you heard on that live performance, it wasn't actually live. We pre-recorded that. The live portion was the singers only. So it's quasi-live.
Oh.
Not entirely live.
Little live with an asterisk.
Exactly.
Just a little bit live.
Yeah.
So that's the underscore.
Correct, yeah.
You were also you've done the Hollywood Bowl, and I've been lucky
several
enough.
times.
Every time I come back from a trip, I can't really ever put it into proper words. It's just a great, it's a legendary venue.
Mhm.
But seeing a production there, it's unlike anything else, right?
Oh, it's
Don't you
great.
agree?
It's outdoors. There's 18,000 people there, which is a huge audience. So the energy is great. The venue is beautiful, and it's just a lot of fun to
It's
work
a beautiful
there.
California night, and you're out there.
Yeah.
You did Coco there, right?
I
did.
I did. That was with live singers too, so that was really complicated.
Oh, so not only did you have the film, but you had the live singers?
I had live singers and extra dancers and lights and these Apex things in the audience, and it was recorded by Event Vision, so that was...
Oh my goodness.
That was exciting, but super stressful.
Is this something you always want? I mean, when I talk to people that are kind of following their dreams, is this something you always wanted to do? Was music always kind of in your heart?
I wanted to be a pianist, and then I hurt my hands in my late teens, so I had to sort of pivot and see what would work for me that was still in music, and I could still hold a stick, as my dad said. So I sort of switched to conducting at 17, and I haven't turned back since.
And it's kind of worked out for you. Thank you so much. What a pleasure to meet you. Thank you so much.
Thanks for having me.
Sarah Hicks, everybody. Music in the Mind. Music in the Mind. Tomorrow night at Orchestra Hall at 8. For more information, head to minnesotaorchestra.org. We're going to take a break. We'll be back after this, everybody. Stay with us. Thank you, Sarah, so much. What a pleasure. Thank you. Sarah Hicks, everybody. Welcome back. We're back. We're back. How great was Sarah Hicks?
She's so cool.
I want to follow Sarah Hicks. I could have talked to her for a half hour more. We got to follow.
cool.
I want to follow her for a day. What a talent right there. Yeah. Hey, don't forget to follow us on social media. You can check out Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. Just search for Jason Show TV. We started a brand new thing on our Facebook page. It's called our pre-show meeting. We go live every morning before the show, and you get to meet all the cast of characters. Director Leo, Kendall.
Director Leo.
Director Leo. People are liking it. So you can see our pre-show on our Facebook page right now. We're going to take a break. We'll be back right after this. Stay with us. Welcome back. Aaron Schwab. It's ironic that we just told you to follow us on social media because we, within this hour, got perhaps my favorite comment from a viewer in months. I won't say the name. I'm not trying to embarrass this person. I actually do. I'm not offended by this. It's just probably the funniest thing I've read this week. A Jason Show viewer during this show, about 40 minutes ago, wrote the following on our Facebook page. Is Jason married? Does he have kids? He appears to be gay, and that's okay with me.
Bless your heart.
Okay, Leo, take camera 5. I'm gay. I feel like Ellen in 97. But anyway, that is hysterical. Jason appears to be.
He's also married.
I'm also married as well, but I have 2 dogs, and I like long walks around the park, and I'm a Leo. There we go. Yeah,
He's a Leo.
I'm a Leo, and I'm very much a Leo. But that just cracked me up. And again, I'm not. Whoever wrote it, if you're still watching, I'm not a fan. I thought it was real humorous. Our executive producer Jeff says, we now have the best Facebook comment of the week. Yeah, that's very true. Hey, tomorrow on the show, we're going to talk about, I can't wait for tomorrow's show. We're going to talk about the new HBO docuseries called McMillions and a local chef named Chef of the Year. That's coming up tomorrow. But right now, that's going to do it for us. If you're watching and you're a kid that's being bullied, you go out there and be yourself because nobody can tell you you're doing it wrong. Have a good day, everybody. See you tomorrow.